That's easier because I checked that one. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Okay. So if you see uh, review high level design, initially we had
Yeah.
planned 16 hours, and now I'm saying that those 16 hours is done. There's still 12 hours left, so totally 28
Right.
hours, right? So now that is causing the entire project to get delayed, and you can see there is a difference between the task and
Baseline in the task.
so that is what you are basically looking at. Okay. Now,
Here, just 1 second. Sorry. Here, the baseline hours will always remain the same as work.
the baseline work will remain what you have baselined at, but now if you see the work column itself has changed.
Okay.
Okay. So after your baseline, when you come and change in the remaining work, the tool will change the work, even though this is fixed work. Okay.
Right.
So the concept of that fixed work and all that is more applicable before you baseline, before you create a project plan, initial version. Once you create an initial version project plan, you baseline it, then you will basically focus on the actual work and remaining work. And the work for the task can get changed when you change the remaining work. Okay.
Right.
So this is anyway supposed to be used only for tracking purpose. Okay. So
Okay.
now like this, let's say I say that 28 hours is required. I finish 75% of this. Okay. And then I finish 100% of this. Okay. This is done. Now the next one is, let's say, rework high level this one. So then here I will again say that even though let's say you have completed 20 hours, I need another 10 hours to do the rework. So again I would basically delay it. So now my work will become 30 hours. From 20 hours it will become 30 hours. But I can always compare it with my baseline, saying this was initially planned for 20, but now I'm taking 30. So like that, you can see the project will start getting delayed because of the delay in certain activities, right? And finally, I would basically do this activity. I will say this is 100%. Now, what happens in a project, practically when too many tasks start getting delayed and your original deadline and and what is appearing on the schedule, everything starts looking very different. Then people may,
Yeah.
uh, come to a point where they may want to re-baseline it in during the execution of the project. Maybe too many things have changed after starting the project, so you want to re-baseline it at that point of time. So what you do is you go to project, you say set baseline, and you then re-baseline it. And uh, I will say baseline. Or do you want to override this data? Yes, I'll say fine. So now what has happened is I have started my project and a lot of things have got delayed. Now I have re-baselined it. And now everything has again come to the, everything has become the same, right? You can see the gray and the task, both are together. Okay. Can you see that now?
Yeah.
Okay. So what?
Basically, what I'm saying is like new activities or like some unplanned activities come or like there is a rescheduling required. So we then the project deadline will change automatically, right? It will get delayed. So
Correct.
then we re-baseline the project just to realign
Uh,
the.
yeah, it's not that for each and every change we'll rebaseline when a significant number of changes happen. And of course, so many times it may require approvals. Because once you have baselined your project plan and if you have shown it to customer or others, they will all say that you
Yeah.
have to follow that baseline only. Later on, if a lot of things changes in the project, new scope comes and you keep changing this, and you see a lot of difference between what is happening and the baseline, then you can suggest that I can re-baseline the project plan. But basically with approvals from the maybe customer required, saying that, okay, we will go ahead with this new plan. So what is going to happen is your previous plan was saying that you will finish on 10th of February. Now you are saying that your new plan will finish on 16th of February. So you are resetting the plan. Okay.
Right.
So it may not be that you will always do it for each and every thing.
Right.
Okay, you may not always do it, because if you see here, what will happen now is the baseline will change to 30, right? The baseline will change to 28. The baseline numbers only will change, and the work will
Right.
basically reflect like that. Okay. So
But
this
generally,
is
like when we do the planning, what we do is we generally keep some buffer. That's how like.
yes, you would definitely keep some buffer. So let's say, for example, obtaining sign off 8 hours. Maybe you require only 4 hours, but you have kept 8 hours. It might take
Right,
less
right.
than 8 hours. That's also possible. So suppose that is there.
Right.
Let's say obtaining sign off, I do it in 4 hours, and remaining work is 0. Let's say I make this 0.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So that means you are basically saying that this is finishing earlier. Okay.
Right.
So this is 100% done and it's finishing earlier. Now let's say preparing low level design. Actually, I will, let's say I will take 32 hours and remaining is 0. I'm able to finish in 32 hours what I planned in 48 hours. So now you can see
Right.
that the there can be a difference in the other side also. So the baseline will go to the right and the task will go to the left, right? It's possible.
Right.
Similarly, for this, prepare low level design. Let's say I finish in 20 and there's nothing left here. So like that, now if you see, there is a difference. Now what I had baseline, I had said this will finish only on 16 or something. Now I'm finishing earlier. I'm finishing on 11. Okay, because I'm able to do certain tasks which is earlier than what I had planned. Okay, so that is
Right.
that way also can happen. Okay. And whatever buffer you are putting, it will be mostly the task level. And many times what happens is whatever buffer we put, it will get consumed. If you think that,
Right. Right.
like for example, if I say a design document is 50 hours, and I have, let's say, I estimated 40 hours, I put 10 hours buffer. But
Right.
when you give it to the developer to design, if you tell him 50 hours is there for you to design this document, they will take 50 hours. Okay.
Right.
So even though you put the buffer, what you should do is you should not tell the people how much buffer is there in the task. You should just tell
Right.
the,
Right. Right.
you should tell the aggressive estimate. So if you have done an estimate like 40 hours, then you tell the developer you have only 40 hours. The 10-hour buffer you keep to yourself as a manager. Don't give it to that
Right.
developer.
Right.
So that is the thing. So if he's able to finish in 40 hours, then you save the 10 hours, which is fine.
Right. Right. Right.
Okay. So this is how you do the tracking. That is using actual work, remaining work, and then looking at baseline work and work, and also using this particular no, numbers 25, 50, 75 for completion marking. Okay. Uh,
Right.
but see, if you do this, what happens is you have your start and finish, right? Now, here you can include another column saying that actual start and actual finish. So actual start, so you can see here, I plan to start this activity on 4th, and it is started on 4th, finish on 6th, is finished on 6th, that's fine. But if I come to this activity, yeah, now everything, since I have baseline, it will be like that. Now let's say prepare low level. Prepare low level, I plan to start on 28 and finish on 2nd of February. None, and this is actually the same thing. There's not much of a difference. The actual start and
But I think they are parallel, right? The airline is parallel with no. Okay. Okay. I
no,
think train module is
one minute.
parallel, but something
No,
because
no,
we have changed something, right? LLD.
correct, correct. Let me make some more changes here. Let me see if I make this 16 hours and I make, let's say, okay, this is what I do. Okay, so here, oh yes, start and finish will change. Okay, I think what we have to compare with is baseline start. Sorry, we have to go to baseline actual and baseline.
I think baseline start and actual finish.
Yeah, we have to check with the baseline start and no actual start.
Actual finish.
Actual start. So you have to check with baseline start and actual start, and baseline finish and the actual finish. That is how you check.
Okay.
So if I take this particular activity, prepare low level, uh, baseline start was 28, actual start was 28, Baseline finish was 5th of February, but you have finished on 29th itself. So you can see the difference here.
Right.
So what is not recommended is you go and actually fill up the actual finish or actual start. Don't do that. Let the tool do the calculation. Let the tool calculate the actual start and actual finish, and let the tool calculate the duration also. So duration you have, so you can have baseline duration, okay,
Right.
and you will have the actual duration. Okay, so if you have baseline duration, right, baseline duration is 6, but actual duration is 2 days. So you initially thought it will take 6 days, but
Right.
you finished in 2 days. Okay, so and your duration will change to the actual. So okay, so this is how this will represent. So
Okay.
so what you should not do is you should not go and manually change this duration column, nor you should change the start and finish.
Actual start and finish.
Yeah, neither start and finish, neither the actual start and actual finish. So so you should not go and change that. The best suggestion is you just change the work that you have done, and you put how much of the work has been completed. That is how many hours you had marked for the work and how much is completed. And then you go to the remaining work and you add if you need more time for that. That is what you can do. When you do that, your work will increase, but your baseline will remain the same, and accordingly the durations and actual start, actual finish, everything will get calculated. So you don't need to do the calculation. So all you have to do is you put the actual work and remaining work. If you do these two, then all other things will get calculated. Okay, that is one way you can proceed. Okay,
Right.
so that is how you do the tracking. Any questions? So you can just try this for 5 minutes.
Yeah. I just try this. It will take a little bit more. So I need to add the column, right, for baseline work, actual work, and remaining work.
Correct. These 3 columns you add: actual work, remaining work, and baseline work.
Okay. I just add them and then
Yeah.
So I have added the 3 columns: actual work, remaining work, and baseline work. So let's say I change. First, I fill in the actual work, like 16 hours is done, or
yeah. First, you fill in the actual work. Suppose it is 16 hours, you say actual work 16 hours. So what will happen? You can see on the right hand side, it will basically say 100%.
Right.
And on the left hand, you will see the tick mark.
Tick mark. Yeah.
Okay. So that is one way of doing it. Other way of doing it is you go to this task at the top, you'll see this 0, 25, 50, 75. You can mark that task.
Okay. Let's say I've done task 50% of the prepare HLD.
Correct. You mark it as 50%.
Right. And now if in the remaining work, I still say 50 hours is left.
Yeah. Then you go and change that remaining work. Now it will change the entire. So now that 50% will not remain 50%. It will reduce.
Yeah. It has gone to 33%. Okay.
Correct. Okay.
Now
if you see,
I can also. Yeah.
Now if you see on the Gantt chart, there will be a difference between your task and your baseline. Right? It will not be aligned.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And if you go to the bottom, you will see there's a difference in your milestone.
Yes, but I don't see a red mark on the 21st like row, like indicating that well, I've not set a deadline, right?
You're not set a deadline. Just see if you're set a deadline.
Okay, I just deadline. Yeah, if I set it to 10th of February, so 11. So yeah, now it comes. I just share my screen so we can.
Yeah.
Just 1 second. So like I have changed this one to where is that?
Yeah, so get inputs, you have made actual work 16 and remaining work is 0. Actual work of
This one
25, yeah, and you said remaining work is 50. So, yeah, so now baseline was 50 and now the work has increased to 75, right? So baseline will remain like that, but the work has increased. And if you see the bottom of that, things will have changed. The milestone of that project will have changed, right?
Right.
Okay, so
yeah, it's on 10 to 12.
10 to 12, 2 days, there's a delay in the project because of the delay in the top. And you have put a deadline now, there is a warning at the bottom. Okay.
Right.
Okay, so that warning is there. Okay.
So like now I yeah, 3 columns, actual remaining and baseline work.
Correct.
And so there are 2 ways of entering the task. Like either I go to this one,
correct,
say, or I enter manually in the actual work.
Correct. That is the way to do it. And now you can go to the right and you can see what is the actual start and actual finish.
So I need to add those columns, right?
Just add those 2 columns. After start and finish, you can say actual start and actual finish.
Okay.
Actual finish.
I also need to add the baseline start and baseline finish.
Yes, you can add that also.
Okay. So I add with actual start, actual baseline, or after them only?
No need. You can after actual finish, you can say baseline start and baseline finish. Not a problem.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So if you see that task number 4.
Yeah.
So if you go to the right,
So actual start is
4 and 6, and baseline start and finish also 4 and 6. The next activity,
right.
actual start is on 6, but still not finished. Now let's say you go and mark it as finished. The task you mark it as finished now. Let's see what happens. You just you can just go and say 100% to the task. You just say 100%. Go to the top and say 100%. Okay. Now we'll see what are the dates. Now if you see actual start is 6, actual finish is 19, and baseline start was 6, but baseline finish was 14. So we intended to finish for 14, but it's got finished only on 19. Okay. So there is a delay, right? So that is the thing. So that is what it will get captured. So this is what will be required in the reports. What is the planned start and planned finish? What is the actual start and actual finish? Okay. So your planned start and planned finish would be a baseline start and baseline finish, and your actual start and actual finish will come from here. This is many times we have to show this in our reports, so that is where you can get the details.
Basically, like the planned start, like the baseline start and the baseline finish, right?
Yeah, that will be the planned start. Yeah.
So do we need to check like the start and finish, or the baseline start and the baseline finish?
No, baseline start and baseline finish will be the planned start and finish, because the start and finish will keep changing. When you keep on tracking, you can see the start and finish will keep changing, the duration will keep changing, work will keep changing. So when you're doing tracking, always check the actual start or whatever with the baseline start. always check the baseline with the actual. Do not check with the start, finish, or duration work. Okay, those things will keep changing. Okay, that is
So
why we
basically,
baseline.
actual start and finish will be used for reporting, right?
Pardon?
The actual start and the actual finish would be used for reporting. Like when we are reporting to the customer, like the this is the actual dates when we have done this activity.
No, no, no. Actually, is what is happening. But the plan is your baseline. That is your plan.
Right.
You baseline your plan. So your baseline start and finish was that. So when you do any reporting, you will say that this activity was planned to start on 6th and finish on 14th. But the actual start date was 6th, but the finish was on 19th. So there is a delay of 5 days in this task. So that is
So
what you
which
have.
one is the actual? Sorry, which one is the actual column name for plant start and plant finish? So that would be the just the start and finish, right?
Baseline start and finish, not the simple start and finish. The planned start
Okay.
and finish will be the baseline start and finish.
Right. Right.
Because once you have completed a plan, you baseline your plan. So that baseline start and finish will represent your plan. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So after your baseline, you should always refer to the baseline start and finish as your baseline plan. Okay. And anything baseline will be your as per the plan. That is what you have submitted to the customer. And against that, you check what is the actual start and actual finish.
Okay.
And
Right. Okay. Makes
this,
sense.
okay, that is how you do. That is this is all after baselining. And once you have done the baseline and you're tracking, you focus on the baseline start finish and actual start finish, etc. Same way for baseline
Okay.
work and baseline duration. You compare baseline duration with the actual duration. You compare baseline work with the actual work. Okay, that is the way you.
Where we are actually checking the work, baseline work and
Baseline work is
duration
there.
basically.
Baseline work is there at the left of this task. If you go left for this
Work, baseline work. Okay.
correct.
Okay. Okay.
And work is there, right? So now you can say baseline work for 50 hours, but we took 75 hours for this task, right? So
Okay.
that is the comparison. Now duration is there. Now you add that column baseline duration.
Okay. I just add 1 second. Baseline duration, right?
Correct.
So I can just add it anywhere, right? Or
Just to comparison, you add it next to duration. That's all. So that you can
yeah.
easily compare. Yeah.
Okay.
Now you can see that for the task 5, your initially planned duration was 6.25 days, but now you have taken 9.38 days. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
No, sorry. You have to see. You have to compare with actual duration. So you have to put the actual duration. You should not compare with only duration. You should compare with actual duration. Anyway, actual duration will be same as duration. Just add actual duration. But and even work, we should compare baseline work with the actual work. Actual duration. Yeah. Actual duration anyway. The duration that will be same. But to be safer side, always compare baseline with the actual. Okay. Do not compare with the work
Okay.
duration and all that. Okay. So baseline duration is what you planned 6.25 days, but you actually took 9.38 days. Okay. See, same thing. If you see the baseline work of 50, but if you go till the left, you will see the actual work of 75. If you go still left,
Okay.
actual work, you can
Yeah.
see that first column was 75. So that is what you will compare. You
Right.
compare actual work with the baseline work. So always compare the baseline with the actual.
So then, is there a need for these columns, like
No, no,
actual work?
no. That work duration that will remain. That you don't go and do anything there. That is for the tool to keep track of the changes that you are making. See, as you make changes, that columns will change. Okay, but
Right.
what is
Right. Right.
important for you is the baseline columns plus the actual columns. Okay, so
Okay.
what you are saying also is right, that maybe once you will start tracking that work duration columns, you can hide. You may not want to see that. That is fine.
Right. Right. Right.
Okay.
Because if we are finally comparing like baseline work, like actual duration and baseline work and actual work, so
Yeah,
then
you can just hide those columns. Work duration you can hide that
okay.
column. And even
Okay.
the
Okay.
start
Okay.
finish you can hide. So then you can only show the baseline start finish and actual start finish. You can keep showing
Right. Right. Right.
that is what you can do.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. So that's fine. So I'll stop sharing now.
Yeah. So that is tracking. Then next is reports. So reports, if you see, you come to report here, and here you can first see, getting started, how to create reports. So you can have reports like this, task burn down, work status, etc. So how to create a burn
Okay.
down? If you click on this, I think it will basically tell you how to do that. It will take you to the net, I think. Okay, so if I come to report, it will you can say getting started with project with the creating reports. All these things are there. Now there are some custom reports. Okay, let me put some reports like resources, over allocated resources. So this is an example of over allocated resources. So it is picking up all the over allocated resources. So if I go back to my resource sheet, you'll see C and D are over allocated, right? So those are the two resources over allocated. So I can come here and I say over allocated resource, it will pick out those C and D and show me the over allocation of this resource. And also the dates on which I think they are over allocated, right? It is going to basically show me that. So over allocation for C is happening here, blue line. Over allocation for D is happening twice. This is the 2 peaks, right? It will tell me the dates.
Okay.
So that way quickly I can see what is the over allocated resource. And resource overview, this will basically tell me all the resource, what is the usage, how much they're actually doing, and what is remaining, and baseline work. So you can see actual work, remaining work, baseline work. These three things are taken, and the baseline work is put as this line. Remaining work is the orange. Actual work is the blue. That is what is been completed. So you can keep track of who's pending with how much, right? And percentage work done by all the resources, that will basically show some sort of a percentage work complete, the chart, how much they have done. Okay. And resource status, how much work is repairing of the different resources as of that date. Whenever you are doing the uh, plan, you are going to the plan and updating. As of that day, when you create the report, it will say, okay, as of that day, A is left with 16 hours of work, B is left with 20 hours of work. Okay, all these things are there. So these are all like standard reports it generates by itself, and you can use it in your reporting or for your own tracking purpose. Then cash
Okay.
flow. If you have, since if you remember, we went to resource sheet and we added cost, right? We added standard rate and overtime rate. So if you have added these things,
Right.
then it will basically do this cash flow calculations also, right? What is the cost and cumulative cost? All those calculations will come here, and you can do other calculations also on the cost. If you see here, earned value report. So you can go here, you can check about earned value, and you can basically get to know more about it. Okay, so these are all PMI terms, earned value management and all. So if you have gone through PMI stuff, then you will be able to use those earned value management. The simple thing is you can go for report a resource cost overview. So you can see the actual cost, remaining cost of the resource, and the baseline cost. Okay, so this is the baseline cost, and this is the actual cost and the remaining cost of the resources that will be coming here. And this is the different resource type. Basically, everything is a work only. So everything, all the resource type is against the work. If you remember, there are three resource types. You have work, we have material, we have travel cost. So here I have put only the work, right? So here it talks about the different resources, what is the standard rate, and what is the actual cost. So those things I can actually go back and see in my Gantt chart itself. I can come here and I can see, what is the actual cost of that particular activity. Now, how does it calculate the actual cost? It sees that who has been assigned to this activity, how many hours they have worked on this activity, what is their rate, right? So looking at those things, it will basically calculate what is the cost of this activity. And then you can also
Okay.
see the baseline cost. So what was the baseline plan? So you can see the baseline and actual is same. Of course, in this case, I think everything will be same because everything is aligned now, right? We see that. But if I make some changes, right? Suppose if, for example, here if you see for prepare low level for airline, right? As of now, I mean, I had planned for 1,920 because I had planned for 48 hours of work, but I finished it in 60
Okay.
hours. So my cost is only 640. Basically, there's a saving here, right? So I can see the difference here. Okay, so that difference I can see. Obtaining sign off also, I had planned for 800 hours of $800 of cost, but it has only come to $400 of cost, right? So that is how we can see the difference. And what are the other reports if you see? So one is resource related, one is cost related, task cost.
Cost, can you show me the one you were showing the variance one? So how do we actually check like what is the variance, like what we had actually calculated, what is actually spent? You were showing me some PMI terms, right? What was that?
Yeah, so okay, that one. That is earned
Earned
value
value.
report. Earned value report.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is uh, estimated completion. EAC is estimated completion. That means, see, there will be two terms. Okay, BAC and EAC. So budgeted completion will be the initial budget, and estimated completion will be as you are going along, as the budget keeps changing, right? Whatever you think is going to be required, that would keep changing. So that would be the estimated completion. So that means to complete this project, I need 13,360. That is what it looks like here. Okay, and
So EAC is basically estimated what?
estimated completion, and BAC is budgeted completion.
So BAC is the actual one, right?
BAC will be the initial budget. Estimated completion would be what changes as you keep on changing the project. The budget will change, right? Initially, you'll have planned maybe 12,000, right, dollars for this. Then, as the project keeps changing, it may become 13,000, 14,000. So that will become the EAC.
Okay.
Then scheduling wise critical tasks. So it will basically tell which are the tasks which are critical. There is no room to slip. That means these are the tasks which have zero float as per the network diagram. So it will highlight that. So this is the critical task. So you can directly see what are the critical tasks here. Okay, and you can keep a track of those critical tasks. And
do we see the task name? Okay, the task names we can see critical task, consolidated or LLDs. And
yeah. So what is the start and finish of the task, and how much work is there, how much is completed right now, who is the resources who has been assigned for that. So that is a critical task. That's what it's saying. Okay. So now in progress, late task. Any late task will get highlighted here. So some things which are late as compared to the status date. A task is late if it is finished, it has passed or is not progressing as planned. So any late task automatically it will capture and put it in this table here. Okay, and then we have milestone report. So you have some milestones, right, in the plan. So it will say which are the milestones which are past due, which are the milestones coming up in the next month, and what are the milestones that are completed. Right, that is what the uh, report will show. So when you have a bigger project, when you have multiple milestones, then this will be very useful. Then you have the slipping task.
but we cannot see the milestones that are due in this month. Like if you are doing the task.
Yeah. 1 minute.
So like if my milestone is completing this month, it will not show the name. It will not show the
milestones
due in
this month. 1 minute. Let me see our. In this case, what is the milestone I have? I have only one milestone, which is due next month. Okay. So let me do one thing. Let me go ahead and put a milestone for this month. So let's say obtaining sign off from customer, right? after that, let me put a milestone here. HLD milestone. Okay, and here I would basically say I can come here and make this duration as 0, so that basically makes it a milestone. Okay, and if you see, this is how it will be, and I will then make the predecessor for this. Okay, 8. So I will make the predecessor for this as 8. So that is my this is my milestone. Okay, so now this is my milestone, which is due this month, right? So let's see if I go here, milestone report. Yeah, now it will say that it is milestone coming up next, 28th of January. Okay.
Because when we are doing like a long project, like maybe 6 months or something, then we have to track the milestones each month, I guess.
Correct. There may be multiple milestones in each month, different phases in each month. So you may want to track each of those milestones separately. And late milestones, yeah, suppose right now I think whatever this milestone have put HLD milestone, so this may be on track, right? So here I'm saying that what is the baseline duration, or let's say baseline start. Let's look at the baseline start for that. So baseline start is 28, and actual start, we'll see what is the actual start, is also 28 as of now. So there is no delay in this task.
Right.
So the last obtain sign off from my customer. Let's say I go here and make some changes. I delay some task. Okay. So let's say review of high level design. It actually took me let's say 50 hours. Okay, and then it got changed. So let's see if there is a change in my milestone. Actual. I think I have got too many columns. I'll just hide some columns. Okay. So if I hide work duration.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I put this prepare HLD or review HLD 50 hours. So baseline start is 14th, actual start is 14th, baseline finishes 20, but actual finishes 25th. So it is basically got delayed here. So if I have to go to tracking and to see this properly. Yeah, so here you can see the delay happening, right? And why is this? Why is this coming here? This also should get delayed. So why is it not getting delayed? Yeah, baseline. Actual start should not be 20th. How can? Did I put any? This is supposed to start. So only after rework will you review it, right? And is there any? I not put any constraints. Nothing is there.
Okay, you're saying like it is the finish to start activity, so its start date should automatically get delayed.
No. What has happened is I have already marked this 100% complete, so it is not changing. Now I'll make it 0% and then say 100%. Now it will change. That's it. Okay. So now this thing has moved to the right. Okay. So what I wanted to do is I want to shift it the milestone. So here again, this is 0% and 100%. Okay. So now the
And
milestone
just
is.
one more thing, to make HLD, we have to just make 0 hours. If you have to mark something as HLD, if you have to make something as a milestone, so if you just double click on that.
Yeah, you just make the duration as 0 hours.
No, if you just double click on the HLD milestone.
Correct.
On that rolling. So in the advanced one also it shows like mark task as milestone. This option is there.
See, what happens is this does not work properly. That's why I didn't show you that. You just go to duration and say 0.
Okay.
Even if you mark as milestone, it will not make duration 0. That is the problem. So you should actually make duration 0. So go manually and make the duration 0.
So basically make the duration as 0 days.
That's it. So your work will already be 0. So duration will make it 0. It will become a milestone.
Okay.
Okay. So here, let's see the report now. So if I go back to progress milestone report, where is it gone? Oh, now it is moved to the next month. Okay, that report. I mean that. That HLD milestone has now moved to the next month. That's why it is not showing up here. Okay, 1 minute. Let me make some changes further. Yeah, I think that's. We'll put
if
one.
You want to what date? Just tweak it.
Yeah.
What date it has gone to? You can just see.
It's gone to 2nd of February. Yeah, that is why it has disappeared.
You can reduce it by 24 hours, so it comes down to 31st.
Yeah, we can do that. Okay. I'll just make this. So these two, first of all, I have to make it 0. Okay. And so this. Okay, now if I make this 100%, let's see. Now this, let me move all this as 0 and actual work. Remaining work. Okay. So now what I will do is I will make this 16. I will make, say this is 30, and I will make this 0. This I'll make 30. Then I'll make this 0. This I'll make 30. Right, and let's say this is 4. Right, and where is HT milestone gone? Yeah, now this is coming on 21st of January. So if I come here, milestone report, it will show up here, HLD milestone, 21st, okay? And if it is late, it will come under late, and any completed milestone, then it will be showing up here, okay?
Okay.
So if I come here and if I, this is also, let's say if I mark it 100%, then it will be completed milestone. I can come here and milestone report. You can see it comes now to my completed milestones, right?
Okay.
That is how we can see that.
So how did it come under completed milestone?
Because I came here and marked this as 100% complete. I marked that milestone. Okay.
And like we go to the tracking Gantt view when we want to compare with the baseline, right?
Yeah, tracking Gantt is what you will use when you are tracking the project. That is, so you can easily see the task and the baseline. You can always see in the Gantt chart. Otherwise, in a normal Gantt chart, you will not see the baseline. Only in the tracking Gantt, you will see the baseline. So it is easy for you to compare here the task with the baseline here. Okay. So it is not that you can't do these things coming to Gantt chart view. You can still see the same columns in the Gantt chart view. Only thing on the right hand side, you will not see the baseline.
Yeah.
So main thing is tracking Gantt will help you to show you the baseline and also the percentage completion of the task. That is the main thing.
Right.
So these are the reports. Okay, you have reports related to resources, cost, schedule, and you also have visual reports where you can create Excel based visual report. So suppose resource remaining work report. So if I want to view, it basically creates a Excel based visual report. So when you have a lot of activities and resources, you can go for visual reports and probably share it with the other people if required. So it's opening a Excel report template. So it basically downloads into an Excel report template.
Like my concern would be, which I will be discussing in the next class, and maybe after that, like we might be having like many resources like working from offshore. Like normally that happens.
Yeah.
So we need to keep track of those, like what allocation they are having and all those things, and
yeah,
and track the delays in offshore activities.
Yeah, so that can be done. See, that can be done directly. I mean, report will be for sending to other people. Report will be for your weekly status reporting and all. You can use this report directly. You can use this. But for your tracking, it's mainly those columns. You basically go to tracking and check, what is the baseline start and baseline finish and actual start, actual finish, where they are, right? And you can keep on putting some milestones for certain tasks. So you can and put a deadline for those milestones, and that way you can see whether are you meeting that deadline or not. So that's the best way to track. So these reports are more for putting in your weekly status report and sending it across, saying okay, this is the resource remaining work report or whatever you want to do. Then you can use this. So this comes in an Excel format, you can see here, and I can come ahead and save this in my desktop. I can say this is a Excel workbook, right? So this is basically I can say this is an Excel workbook in my desktop, and then I can of course share it with others if they want to. So people who don't have MS Project also can view the reports. So you no need to have MS Project to view the reports. Okay, so that is your reports. So here, if you see.
So like, can we compare like the resource utilization that we are doing in visual reports?
Resource
I'll
utilization.
just try it out myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can go to resource summary, resource remaining work report is there, resource usage is there, resource work availability, resource work summary report is there. Okay, and you can now you can also edit the template. Suppose if you say edit the template, then these you can see the customization of the field, available fields, selected fields, custom fields you can add or delete. You can make the changes. What fields you want to show up in the report, you can make the changes here, and you can manage the template. Okay, so that is how.
And what about like the cost and the budget if you want to compare?
Yeah, so again the cost, there are reports for a cost here. Let me see. Here itself we had the reports, right? You want to see task cost overview, resource cost overview, all that will come here. So if you have report cost, cash flow cost.
So like I'm saying from perspectively for like in weekly status, like if you want to share like what is the comparison of cost and like if you want to increase the resources, so if they want an overview, those kind of things.
Yeah,
like
so
if I want to increase offshore and 2 on site, so those kind of things.
Yeah, so one is cost overruns, you can check. So here you can see what is the task cost variance. Okay, and here you can see the baseline cost and the cost variance. Okay, for each of the resources. So if it is in a bracket, that means it is negative. That is, and so negative variance is actually good, right? I mean, one minute.
Right.
Okay.
Basically making profit.
And if there is a positive variance, it may be bad, so you just have to check that. So cost variance, just a minute, 1 minute, let me just confirm this. As per the PMI, let's see how this comes up there. Just give me a minute. Okay, so the equation is actually, it will be the reverse. So any cost variance in the negative, it is not good. Okay, so here when they're saying 400 negative, that means it has overshot by that much to the baseline. And wherever you are saying positive, it means it is under the baseline. So negative variance of cost variance is not good. Okay, note it down. And positive variance is okay. So in this case, only one resource is got a positive variance, which is B, and other things are all negative. That A, C, and D. Okay, and so those are all going over the budget, whatever is there. Okay.
And like, just if I want to compare the project cost that was initially budgeted and the actual costs when the project was run.
Okay.
So can we compare that? Like if I am in a status of, let's say I am doing the HLD or the LLD, and I want to compare the actual budget and the actual cost that has been incurred.
Okay, 1 minute. So
because then the higher management would want to like mitigate those things and like cut the cost and those things.
See here, what I did was I went to report cost cash flow. So it says at the top, actual cost is so much, baseline cost is so much, right? And remaining cost is so much. Okay. And this is my cost variance. Okay. So that means this cost variance, if you see, there is something. 1 minute. Let me just verify this once more. Okay, let me go to Gantt chart. Actual cost and baseline cost, if you see so much, right? And if you see actual cost is actually less here than the baseline cost. Actual cost is more here. Okay. Let me do one thing. Let me make everything except for this. I will make this as 60. Everything else I will make it. Let me make first everything 0. Then I will say that actual work here is 16 and the baseline. This is what? This is the baseline work. Okay, baseline work I will say 60. Okay, and this I will say is 20, 30. Okay, all this I will just say 100%. Okay, this is 100%. And these things I'll just mark it 100%. Okay. So here if you see everything, the baseline cost and actual cost are all same except for one task where it is saying 400 more we have used. Otherwise the baseline cost, and here again this one actual cost will work out like this. Okay, so this is how it will be. So I'm just ensuring that everything is the same. Okay, baseline work 8 hours. And this is 320. Okay, so airline module, if you see actual cost and baseline cost is same, right? And if you see high level design, actual cost is slightly higher only because of one particular activity.
Right.
So now let us see the costs. So let's go to cash flow, and it will basically saying that, see here it is showing $400 plus. But if you see PMI definition, whenever cost variance is negative, it is bad. But in this tool, cost variance of plus is bad. Okay, so it is the difference here. Okay, it may be confusing. So what you please note down is, note down in the tool, cost variance of plus is bad. Okay. Okay.
No. Plus is good, right?
No. That is as per PMI. I was looking at the formulas there. So there, the way it is showing is different. Here, the way it is showing is different. That's what I'm saying. So cost variance plus is bad because if you see here, if I just go, everything is same. Only for this activity, I have taken $400 more. Okay, so I have taken more $400. Now, if I come to cost and if I say cash flow, it is showing a plus $400. That means it is.
Can we check this also in the resource one? Because in the resource also, when then we should see $400 cost variance, whatever resource that is, B or C.
Yeah, so if I go to the resource cost overview. So resource cost overview, where did we see that? One minute. Not in the resource cost overview. Task cost overview, is it? Yeah, here you can see travel portal project cost variance is 400, which is extra, right? Baseline was 15,200, then cost is 15,600, right? So that it is a plus 14. 1 minute. So let me go to resource overview. Resource, it will only tell you the work status. Cost overruns. Yeah, cost overruns. Okay. So here you can see cost overrun for C is 400. Cost overrun for B is 160. Okay. So you can see here it says baseline cost is 3840 and cost is 4,000. Okay. So you have overshot by $160. For D, your baseline was 3520 and you have actually consumed 3360. Your cost variance is minus 160. That means you are less by 160. Okay. So overall, $400 is the extra cost that you have incurred because you are supposed to have for C only 3840, but he has consumed 4240. Okay, that is the extra.
Basically, in tool, the positive variance is bad. Basically, like we have incurred more cost.
Correct. So if you see here, C has consumed $400 more, B has consumed $160 more, but D has consumed $160 less. So B and D are cancelling each other, and C, whatever is left, that is the cost variance. Right.
Right. Okay.
So so best is.
And can we also see like the project milestones that are due every month and like for the whole project?
Yeah. So that is we saw that, right? Milestone report. So this
that is just for this month. Like if you want to see that are overall view for the project.
Okay.
Like what are the
overall.
milestones?
Okay. 1 minute. So what you can do is this.
Okay, we just create a template for that.
We have to use that. So in progress. So milestone report. Okay. Or we can customize the report. So what you can. What we can do is we can go to visual reports and see here if I can create a new template. So I will say, visual, choose the data on which you want to report, task usage, resource summary, task summary. Okay. I will basically go for task summary, select fields. So I would basically say what is the baseline start date and let's say actual finish and actual start date, right? That is what I want to do.
Right.
So I'll say remove all, and then I will basically come here and say actual finish date and actual start date. That is what I want to know, and what is the baseline finish and baseline start. So so if I know actual finish and actual start and baseline finish and baseline start for all my tasks, that would basically tell me, where I am on the different tasks. And for the milestones, I don't think there's a separate field for milestone. 1 minute, let's see.
We will need the task name also, right? The activity name.
Yeah, no, for all the tasks, it will basically put this. So it will basically create this for all the tasks. Now,
okay.
Is milestone. Okay, let's see, use milestone. At least one work or one, this one has to be there. Okay, actual work.
Actual work. Yeah.
Actual work and baseline work. Put here. So you have to actually drop the fields here.
Okay.
So this we have to create a pivot table and do it. Okay, 1 minute, not do this way. Cash flow, you want milestone reports, right? They don't have any separate milestone report. in visual report. What they have is only this particular milestone report. So this one, can I customize it? Something.
Okay, that's fine. Venkat, I'll also have a look, and that's not a problem because I can also. I think on the right side you can see, right, the
Correct.
drop down filter.
Correct. So if you see here, we have the milestones.
No, I'm saying the drop down filter. Yeah.
Okay, see here it says milestone due this month. I can just say milestones. Okay, now all the milestones are coming up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, the filter you can
How
change.
did we see this field list? How does this come on the right hand side?
All I did was,
yeah.
What I did was I came here. I said milestone report, and now what I did was I did my more reports. I came to in progress milestone report select, and yeah.
You right click something or?
Yeah, right click something. 1 minute. 1 minute. Come out and do it again. Okay, I think we all have to do.
Yeah, show field list.
Show field list.
Last one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Show field list. So for show field list would basically show you all the milestones, late milestones, and milestones. So here, see, this is milestones coming up next month, right? That is what it's showing. So you can have a separate here saying that late milestones or all the milestones. This is basically all the milestones. Then you have late milestones, milestones due this month, right? So, and you have the completed milestones. You can show all the milestones by putting this here. So you can use this, and then you can group by if you want to, or correct.
So this will add a new report, right? If I select milestone, it will add a new report.
Yes, it should add a new report. If I come here, hide field, sorry, show field list. So if I come here, I'll say I want to see all milestones, right? And then I can come and save this. I can basically save this, of course, in the MPP, and that way I can also extract this to the visual reports if I want to. Okay, I can basically put it in my visual report, or suppose if I include report templates. 1 minute.
I think it has added in the milestones up next. It has added both ones. It has not added a new report.
Correct. It is.
Just see
Correct. Instead of saying milestones up next, then you'll have to say all the milestones. So basically, we can customize this report. We can say all the milestones.
Okay.
Like that we can.
That's fine.
Okay. So that is how you can do this report. Okay. So here you can go to custom, and you can create more user reports. Okay, here custom.
That's fine. I think there would be many options, so that's fine. Not a problem.
So you,
can you quickly show me, before we end, this thing, because I need to go, how to create a pivot table quickly of any of the reports?
Pivot table, is it? So okay. I can just show you a normal pivot table how to create.
Yeah.
Let's say this is okay. If I say column C, then I will. For just a minute, let's see if I have some data. I will use the data directly instead of creating a data.
Yes. We can just keep simple. We can have a name gender and their percentage. So we can, like, if we have a state of like 100 boys and 50 girls and their percentage, then we want to see different data, like who got the highest marks and those things.
Yeah. So I just got some list. Okay, some
Okay.
employees and what is the score they got out of 20, right? So if I want to create a pivot table here, so what I would do is, first of all, I will select my data, and then I will say insert pivot table, and this is my range of data, and where I want to put it in a new worksheet. Okay, I want to put it in a new worksheet, the pivot table.
So just say insert and pivot, right?
Yeah, one. Okay, one. I think this has to go. Okay, let me put this. So insert pivot table and let it go to a new worksheet. Okay. So here you can choose the fields. So let's say I want to put. I want to basically keep track of how many students have got more than a certain score. Okay. So something like that, or keep track of how many students have got a certain score. So basically, I would put my scores here. Okay, I will say this is the score. So sum of scores it is doing. So let me put the employee ID. So it will say employee IDs or the employee names. It will say what is the score. So this way I can choose two things, name and score. So I will get the pivot table saying what is the name and what is the score, right? And let's say I want so this is the score out of 20. Now I don't want the overall score. Let's say I want to see the agile score. So sum of agile. So if you see here, agile is okay, this much only. So it is only 100% of, okay, this is some value here. Okay. So let me do this again. Let me just remove this. So all I'll do is I will select this entire, let me first of all select these 4 columns. Then I will say insert pivot table, put it in a new worksheet. Okay, here I will say that name score. Okay, this is what I'm choosing, right? I can put it here.
Right.
And suppose another way I can do it is I can drag this name to the filter. Okay, so I will remove name here. I will drag it to the filter. I'm not able to drag it to filter.
Okay.
Let me put it here. Okay, employee ID, I can put it here. So employee ID, I can come here and choose which employee ID and then basically see what is the score here, right? So I can put that filter here, right? And here I can also I can do one more thing. I want to see how many students have got score of 20 or something like that. So in that case, then I would basically remove this and I would put score I will put here itself. So score out of 20 is this. So I don't want to do the sum here. So what I will do is this will be my row. So this is my different scores. Okay. See, if you put it here, this will become sum of the scores. I don't want a sum of the scores. I want each score to come here. Now next is I want to put employee ID in the values. Count of employee IDs. So you can see that how many students have got 10? 1 student has got. How many? 12? 1. How many has got 16? 4. 4 students have got 4. So if you see here, sorry, 4 students have got 16, right? So you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4 students have got 16 out of 20, right? So here I can keep, I can see that, how many students have got 10 marks, how many have got 12, 13, etc. So I put here count of employee ID and rows, I'll put the score. And that way I can keep track of it. So this is one way I can do it. Okay.
Okay.
Fine?
Yeah, Venkat, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
So Venkat, maybe in the next class I'll just go through the reports, this thing, what we have discussed today and other things. And I also need to try out the exercises. Then we can discuss in the next class my doubts and exercises.
Yeah, sure.
And not tomorrow, maybe we can have it next Saturday or Sunday. Is that all right? I'll just mail you in this week.
Yeah, sure. You can send me the mail.
Yeah. So would you be available next week? Like what time? Is 7 a.m. India time okay or later?
Next week, is it? Yeah. Next Saturday, Sunday, 7 a.m. India time is okay.
Okay. I'll just mail you in a couple of days time and confirm. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Venkat. Yeah. Thanks for your time. Thanks. You can just send me the recording link for today, please.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Venkat. Bye.
Yeah, bye.